If you notice frost or ice forming in your freezer, the freezer door seal may need to be adjusted. You'll want to follow these steps to determine if your door is sealing properly. First, check that nothing in the freezer compartment is preventing the door from closing. If your refrigerator was recently installed, make sure that all styrofoam shipping blocks and packing materials have been removed. Next, wiggle the lower freezer basket to ensure it's properly seated in the slides. With the freezer door open, make sure the gasket is pushed fully into the gasket groove on all four sides of the door. Starting at the corners, firmly slide your finger or an ink pen along each edge to verify the gasket is in the groove. Use your finger to push the gasket in the groove if needed. After you've checked the freezer compartment and gasket, close all the doors and look at the freezer door's top to bottom taper and seal on the right and left sides of the refrigerator. Using your finger as a guide, measure the gap in the top and bottom corners of each side. The gaps at the top should be the same size as the gaps in the bottom corners. When the gaps are the same, the gasket should touch both the door and the case on all sides, and the white liner from the freezer compartment should not be visible. There is no need to adjust your seal. Simply wipe off any ice or frost that has formed and check the freezer again in several days to ensure the issue has not reoccurred. If the gaps do not match, the gasket will not touch the case in some spots, and you'll be able to see the white liner of the freezer compartment. To fix this, you'll need to adjust the freezer door. You'll need a 3/8-inch socket with a 3-inch socket extension attached to a ratchet or drill. You'll also need a 3/32-inch Allen wrench. Open the freezer and locate the 3 hex head bolts on each side of the drawer, in the corner where the slide assembly joins the drawer. Using the 3/8 socket tool, loosen but do not remove the 3 bolts on each side of the door, turning each bolt about 3 revolutions. You must loosen all 6 bolts to adjust the door, even if you're only adjusting the gap on one side. When all 6 bolts are loose, locate the set screw against the door facing. Use the Allen wrench to turn the set screw. You may need to lift the drawer slightly to help the set screw rotate more easily. If the gap is larger at the top, turn the set screw 2 revolutions clockwise. If the gap is larger at the bottom, turn 2 revolutions counterclockwise. Then check the gap adjustment by closing the drawer. Do not turn the screw more than 2 revolutions without checking the gap. Repeat this process for the other side of the drawer if necessary. Retighten all 6 bolts and close the freezer drawer. Remeasure the gaps and make additional adjustments if necessary by repeating the bolt loosening and set screw tightening procedure. Wipe off any ice or frost that has formed and check the freezer again in several days to ensure the issue has not reoccurred.